news articles, because the news isn't real, nothing is real, that say that I got lit up by Chelsey Handler, which is very, very funny because that's not what happened at all. You can't believe anything you see or read on the news anymore. You have to actually watch the thing for yourself. She was a bit of a cunt, I'll tell you that. She just kept coming at me over. She said I took the Saudi Arabia money. She was like wrong about things.
Yeah, whether you're famous, whether you're famous or rich, those don't apply. But like the idea that, like, what were they going to say about me? They couldn't say anything other than that I'm a whore or my age. I think that was the other thing that they went in. And you're like, well, okay, those aren't jokes. That's not clever writing. And I knew they would be lazy because they do that for a living. And I knew enough about like Tony Hinchcliffe and Shane and their backgrounds. I had ex-girlfriends blowing up my DMs that had dated Shane and were telling me stuff about him. So based on that, I was like, oh, these guys are pretty bad.
So you had something on him that you could have. Tell us now. What shit Shane?
It's just everything we know, that they're racist, that they're bigots, that they're sexist, you know, that they think they're like invincible, that they've been canceled for being like, you know, Shane got fired from SNL, but then was on SNL years later. So he got fired. So what happened in between those two events? So he believes, this is per one of his exes, that he's invincible. He's like, doesn't matter. I can say anything I want.
The writers just didn't do her any justice. But then the teleprompter, the fun fact, the teleprompter only went down during my set. And it gave me a lot of opportunity to remind Chelsey Handler what she looks like and where her life is. Because she had it coming. You know, everybody wants to go up early in those things, and they put a lot of the people that they know will do good at the end, which is fucking bullshit, because some people turn off the television before that happens. And so what they don't realize, though, because they want to go up early when the crowd's all fresh, is that I'm sitting there watching what they're doing. So when Chelsey kept coming at me, I'm like, oh, I'm going to fuck this bitch up.
Chelsey Handler, everybody. Chelsey Handler, a woman who has been failing upward since 2006 with the energy of someone who knows exactly where the cameras are at all times and has never once in her life faced a consequence she did not immediately blame on someone else. Let us get into it. Chelsey Handler is a struggling stand-up with a sketch show hemorrhaging viewers like a bathtub with no plug. Career trajectory of a damp receipt. Nobody's watching, nobody cares, and Chelsey is about 3 bad months away from doing punchlines at a Marriott in Tempe, Arizona, for a dental conference. And then, oh how convenient, she starts sleeping with Ted Harbert, who is the CEO of Comcast Entertainment Group, which owns E!, the channel her show is on, her literal boss. She's sleeping with the man who signs her checks. He's driving her to work every morning. She moves in with him after 6 months because why waste time when the man owns the building? And Ted, sweet, oblivious, catastrophically generous Ted, watches her sketch show dying in real time and goes, you know what, sketches are not your thing, sweetheart. Let us build an entire show around your personality instead. And Chelsey lately is born, from the mind and the network and the wallet of the man she's sharing a bed with. She told the New York Times, the actual New York Times, that the best thing about living with Ted was that he drove her to work. Said that to a journalist, who wrote it down in the paper. Chelsey read it back and thought, yeah, sounds right, no notes.
I mean, every man I've been with, I'm still friends with. You know, I'm like, cool, if they're alive. But
yeah.
you know, I'm still friends.
I left those jokes there.
Yeah. Can I tell you something? Can I tell you honestly? And that's what I've been doing in the interviews, is telling people, listen, if they had not come with respect and said these are the topics,
yeah,
but I didn't know what was going to be said, and I did not know that Tony was going to do the George Floyd joke.
Yeah.
But when he did it, like I was over there like scribbling on paper and asking God, send me the response. Send me the response like the response to you. Send me the response, but I don't want to be mean-spirited. But with Tony and the George Floyd joke, my only feeling is if you don't have the right response that blows up the room even further, you've set back the cause. So sometimes it's say less. If you ain't got nothing good to cut his throat with, figuratively about comedy, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna make it worse, in my opinion. What do you think?
I agree. I think you nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the least racist person I know.
I'll tell you, the least racist person I know right now is Chelsey Handler.
True.
Did you see her little thing with 50 Cent?
No, but I remember seeing her show
Least racist person, dude.
She did a whole show about like confronting her white guilt.
Okay, so
Dude, she goes to a spoken word, like a poet jam, and then asks to speak at the end.
I'm filming a documentary, as you may or may not know, about white privilege.
And it's like, I just want you to know that I'm sorry. And it's a bunch of black people like,
what the fuck?
I think somebody even criticizes her on that, which good for them.
She's like, oh yes, thank you.
Yeah,
I mean,
she's like,
speaking of
true.
love
This is actually true.
Speaking of love being admonished and whipped, dude. Well, she apparently must be. I guess her white privilege special gave her the necessary powers to remind 50 Cent that he's black and should vote Democrat.
Oh, she did that publicly?
Yeah, he was like, fuck this, dude. 60%. I'm not paying
Yeah.
this shit. This is bullshit. And she was like, I had to remind 50 Cent he was black.
So he doesn't want to pay 62% of taxes because he doesn't want to go from being 50 cent to 20 cent. And I had to remind him that he was a black person, so he can't vote for Donald Trump.
Which, you know, maybe she's kidding, but it's like...
No one on earth needs to remind 50 Cent that he's black, dude. That's literally like if you wanted to pick the blackest dude on earth, maybe it's 50 Cent.
So did you feel? I mean, did you like the shit they were saying up there though? Like,
No, I mean, it was ick. It was gross. I don't find those jokes to be funny. Jokes about lynching black people or lynching is not a joke. That's worse than rape. Like, you're not joking about rape, are you? Are you saying, I'm going to go rape you? You know you can't do that, but you can say lynching? Like, I find that to be, I don't know, people are like, it's a roast, you go for it. I'm like, you can go for it without being gross. Yeah. Like, I find that to be gross. I found them making fun of Cheryl Underwood's, like, dead husband who committed suicide. Like,
skin color.
She's fine with that. If she says she's fine with that, she's fine with that. I wasn't fine with that. I thought that was disgusting, too. But there was so much disgustingness that I knew it was going to be such a, gross vibe that I would be able to elevate it, no problem. And that's what I went to do. I was like, all right, well, I'll pick it up because they're going to try and bring it down.
And then Cheryl. Oh, Chelsey, you really did not think about Cheryl. Chelsey decides, completely uninvited, without a single text asking if the position was available, that Cheryl Underwood needs defending. Cheryl, who has been in this industry for 30 years. Cheryl, who was in the room when the joke was made. Cheryl, who heard it live and said she was fine with it. Chelsey appoints herself Cheryl's personal feelings bodyguard and charges into battle on Cheryl's behalf without telling Cheryl. And Cheryl's response goes on Matt and Shane's podcast, the one hosted by the guys Chelsey just publicly called racists, and absolutely buries Chelsey. Cheryl, the woman Chelsey was protecting, without being asked, goes on the racist podcast to talk about how Chelsey is the problem. I genuinely cannot write comedy this good. God himself could not write this. This is what justice looks like, boys.
Well, but I mean, puns are supposed to get groans. Scatological humor, shit jokes, they make you giggle like a kid. The analysis of humor is what I love. But if you dissect the joke so hard, it's like a frog. You got to kill it to dissect it. Yeah. But to me, for the people who are upset and on social media, I feel like you have a right to be that, because now I get to talk about mental illness in men, and specifically black men, that men feel, I don't need therapy, I don't need this, I don't need that, right, in this society. But people say, well, how could you sit there? Oh, it was offensive. Well, don't be offended for me if I'm not offended, but be offended for your point of view. And you can have your point of view.
Yeah.
We're not saying you can't have it. Have it all on social media. Because most people trying to attempt to do stand-up will never understand how it feels. It's like the greatest sex in the world with a bunch of people.
He was just trying to keep the high going.
Milwaukee's going wild.
$50. $50.
We just got in. We're fresh off of Los Angeles live last night. The roast of Kevin Hart was something else, huh? It's the first time I've been called a Nazi multiple times in just a few hours. I guess that's what LA writers' rooms, all these, a lot of mentally ill liberals out there that somehow with all these fucking blacks and Jews and Mexicans around me, I guess I'm a fucking Nazi somehow. I guess the guy that pulls names out of a bucket, giving everybody an opportunity, is a Nazi. Isn't that something?
And now the Kevin Hart roast. Chelsey shows up, ready for her comeback, her moment. The night America remembers she exists. Gets up there, opens her mouth, and reads, Off a teleprompter. At a roast, a comedy roast. Did not write the jokes, did not memorize them, did not bother to learn the material that someone else wrote for her. Just stood there squinting at a screen like she is reading the terms and conditions on a software update. Tony Hinchcliffe, who wrote every single word with his own hands, memorized it, and destroyed the room, pointed this out afterward, and I need you to sit with that image. Chelsey Handler, 20 years in stand-up comedy, cannot be bothered to memorize her own roast set, reads it off a screen, in a room full of people who write their own material. The teleprompter only went down during Tony's set, by the way. Just his, nobody else's. Funny how that works. Very funny. Not Chelsey Handler funny, obviously, but actually funny.
But I didn't want to work for a year, so I said, let me just do some documentaries first, because I was more interested in, like, my brain from Chelsey Lately, while it was a fun show, and it was kind of, you know, brainless. We were making fun of, like, Britney Spears and Lindsay Lohan and those kinds of people. And after a while, you're like, this is mean and boring. I want to talk about more interesting things. So then Netflix gave me a deal, and I did like 4 documentaries. They let me travel around the world. I was able to like record wherever and film wherever we went. I was gonna say videotape. I don't know why the fuck I'm talking like that, but videotape everything. And then I did that for about a year. And then I think we did my talk show for about 2 years, but the format didn't work on a streamer. But so I guess I did my 4 documentaries. Then I did another documentary for Netflix. Yeah, and then I did my show for 2 years.
Now here's where it gets good. After Ted saves her from career death so complete she would have ended up on a cruise ship doing impressions of herself for people eating shrimp cocktail, Chelsey starts secretly sleeping with their masseuse, multiple times, behind Ted's back, then dumps him. The man who built her career from scratch drove her to work every morning, and was apparently also paying for the massages. And then goes on Andy Cohen's radio show years later to tell the whole story, like it is the funniest thing that ever happened to anyone. Ted reportedly took the breakup hard. Ted, brother, you gave this woman a career, a home, a late night show, a driver, and a masseuse. She gave you betrayal and a serious XM anecdote. Shakespeare could not write this. You deserve better, and I genuinely mean that. So that is Chelsey Handler, career built by a man she was actively cheating on, with his masseuse. And what did she build with Ted's generosity? Chelsey Lately ran until 2014. Then Netflix came calling. Big serious Chelsey, global issues, important topics. 2 whole seasons before Netflix looked at the numbers and said, yeah, no, we're good, canceled, goodbye. Chelsey has been wandering around Hollywood ever since like a woman who got lost in an IKEA and is too proud to ask for help. Occasionally popping up on podcasts, having opinions, calling people racist, being gross and disgusting. The usual.
I was called that by a bunch of people that have never written anything in their lives, that literally have just been reading cue cards and teleprompters every project they've ever done, with the inability to improvise whatsoever, no opportunity to have their own thought. They just read what the writers wrote for them without any originality whatsoever. And the writers I used to work with, there's a few great writers in that writer's room, and the rest of them are just living in a bubble of mental illness, and it's very exciting. But, I mean, the most of it, you know what I mean? I got called a Nazi, gay, a racist over and over again. I'm none of those 3 things, a little fun fact. But they are they are fat, ugly, black, and Jewish. Everything I said was real about them, just a reminder. Because I woke up today, and even though
So I wasn't planning on it, though. I was planning on taking time off, which is a good reason that, like, you should, when you want to take time off, don't get lured in by another paycheck.
Yeah.
Like, everyone thought I was so crazy for quitting, but I didn't really think about what anyone thought about it. I just was done. So it wasn't about taking the temperature. Everyone's like, how could you do that? You don't know where your next job is going to come from. And I'm like, I'm pretty confident that I'll get another job. And then it just became a thing. Like, it was like all these offers were coming at me. So I figured Netflix was like the newest, brightest, coolest thing. Let me go with something unknown. And they allowed me to do my thing.
Have you ever thought about doing your own shit just on your own platform?
I wouldn't even know how to go about that.
Yeah.
I'm not really that, like, you know, innovative technologically speaking. Like, I'm never ahead of the curve, but I'll just hop onto whatever curve there is.
Yeah.
Like, I just know what I'm interested in, and that's all. That's what I have. I'm not somebody who's like thinking 10 steps ahead or has a strategy. I've never really had a strategy. I just kind of figure out what I want to do and, you know, work hard when I work.
And here's the part that really gets me. Chelsey has a complaint. Chelsey feels that Tony came at her too hard, too mean, too aggressive, too much. Chelsey Handler, who opened her roast set by reading off a teleprompter that Tony has the face of a school shooter. That Chelsey Handler, who read, off a screen written by someone else, that Tony is what happens when women do not have access to abortion, is now complaining that Tony came at her too hard. Bitch, did you not go first? You went first, Chelsey. You picked up the microphone. You read those jokes off your teleprompter. You fired the first shot. And Tony sat there, smiled slowly, nodded, and thought, okay, I'm going to get you. And he did. And now she's on Dion Cole's podcast crying about it. You threw the first punch, Chelsey, written by someone else, off a screen. And when Tony threw one back with his own words in his own hands, suddenly it is racist and gross and disgusting, and she needs 3 podcast appearances and a moral crisis to process it. Racist, bigot, sexist, one breath, the whole checklist, copy-pasted from her notes app like she had been saving it for exactly this occasion, about comedians who wrote their own material at a roast that everyone voluntarily showed up to. A woman who spent 15 years making jokes about her housekeeper's immigration status now has comedy ethics. Chelsey Handler, comedy ethics. I need to lie down.
I feel like especially with the late husband talk, it was like this deeply personal, like a tragedy. And the thing no one talks about is like, that's like horrific to even think about, and to be up there and just like laughing and making like a joke. To me, it's like a triumph where you're like, you rose above it. You made a big joke out of everything. No one ever talks about that. They're like, I thought it was, I watched it. I was like, this is beautiful. And then you came up, and I think Shane said a lot of your stuff was kind of like off the cuff, the last minute, not even on the teleprompter. I was like, that like really blew me away. Because I was like, how do you do that in that room? I would be glued to the teleprompter, sweating, reading it. And to be like, all right, I have my own notes. I just formulated on a stage, on live TV, in front of an arena of people. I really was. I was like, this is amazing.
Faith in God.
Yeah.
Ask God, send me the words. Feeling safe, feeling like I'm not being attacked, so I don't have to be defensive. I don't have to be thin-skinned. And culturally, we cracked jokes when he died. We did. We cracked jokes. When I had to call my father and go, can you come here and identify the body? My father was like, why? I was like, because you're my daddy. Go on in there and look. Go on in there and look. Go on in there. But in stress, sometimes humor equalizes stress. So for me, when I first got to the talk on CBS, one of the first jokes I told was this joke about my best friend Peaches. Now I'm in Chicago, my husband dies, jumps off a building. My best friend Peaches tries to outcry me at my husband's funeral. And we're in a, funeral home, 71st and Halstead. And I'm sitting up front, and in my family, we don't, because we from down south, and my father is conservative Southern, but we don't express emotion out in public. But so I'm sitting up front, and we hear this wailing coming back from the back of the room, and it's my best friend Peaches, and she's wailing and coming up, and she is showing out. Black people know she is showing out at my husband's funeral. Now her husband is sitting about 4 pews back.
I'm just thinking about my family at a funeral. If one person showed out, they'd beat their ass. They'd be like, what are you doing?
Now we all looking around like, who is that?
Yeah.
And she's wailing. And so my father is nudging me, and I'm nudging him. I'm like, I don't know what to do. She crying. So I walk up to her, and I put my arms around her. And I go, bitch, what the fuck are you doing? and we laughing, but it looks like we're crying with each other.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going to let you go. Because your husband, Ivory Eugene Granberry, is four pews back, watching you cry over my dead husband. I'm gonna let you go. He gonna fuck you up when you get home. Yeah. But I couldn't say those words. And Julie Chen Moonves was the one who said, let's make it TV friendly, but let's put some words in it and give it a little seasoning.
It's very funny.
But it's when you say culturally, sometimes humor is the thing. It's the most uncomfortable humor that really kind of lessens the tension and the stress. When you say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you feel you've ever gone too far in something?
Yeah, for sure. But then you're like, as soon as you do it in a club, as soon as you're wrong, you go, oh, shit. My bad.
And Kevin didn't deserve that. He deserved like an elevated roast.
So let me ask you this. When you see other black people laughing at that, Does it make you go, all right, whatever, or do you think to yourself, what the fuck are they laughing at that for?
I mean, I'm not here to tell black people what's funny about black jokes. Like, no, I'm not here in the world to do that. Like, I know enough to just, that's my opinion. I don't like that. I also don't like the N-word, but I have plenty of black friends who toss that around all the time. It's not my place to say, oh, that word makes me feel uncomfortable.
Right.
You know, black people are allowed to do whatever they want. If Kevin thinks that's funny, he thinks that's funny. I don't think it's funny.
Matt and Shane just said the thing. The obvious thing everyone in Hollywood whispers at parties and goes silent about when someone important walks in. That Chelsey Handler is mid. That Chelsey lately exists because she was sleeping with the network president. That her Netflix show lasted 2 seasons before Netflix chose violence. That not one single human being has been at home waiting for Chelsey Handler's opinion on what is and is not appropriate at a comedy roast. And Chelsey cannot handle it because Chelsey has built her entire 20-year career out of saying the thing everyone is thinking about everyone else. And the second someone says the thing everyone is thinking about Chelsey, she dissolves like a wet tissue in a hot shower. Her housekeeper is watching this from wherever she is right now and absolutely howling.
Kevin is so small that when his ancestors picked cotton, they called it deadlifting.
Yeah, well, really, my one question was like, and you kind of answered it, was like, how did you kind of put together that ad hoc like response to everything? But you said you just kind of channeled God and just chilled out and relaxed. What do you? I guess this is a question I had too. When like, because I've always wondered this before. Like, you know, you suffered this personal tragedy. Mm-hmm. Was there part of you that worried like I can't be funny again after this? Or was like, I always wonder that if befall some horrible tragedy happens to me, will it just like destroy my sense of humor and I'll become like serious and sad all the time?
I felt like I had no choice.
Yeah.
For me to survive. That's why the book is I'm Fat Because of You, because I had to survive. I had to find a way to pay my bills. I had to find a way to build a career. So I just looked at it as, and my father was like, don't why me, why not you? Like tragedy can't come to your door like it comes to anybody else's door. So the first thing I thought, what is funny about this? What is funny? A lot of people say, well, why would you make a joke about being raped? And after I was raped, I went to the stage with it because that's the place where I'm most comfortable in talking to people about something. You feel?
Could have used that one in the roast.
Yeah, I thought you were.
Nah.
No. They told me that you guys might talk about me.
I didn't know. I would first of all, I would definitely not do that. I'll go, hey, this lady got raped. What a loser.
Yeah, but I mean, come on.
Crazy.
But would you say that is what roasting is now? It's no longer you a hockey puck. Roasting in y'all generation in this time span of comedy, you hit really below the belt. And for me, I feel like the only thing you got to deal with, you ain't got to deal with me because I'm your colleague. You got to deal with the motherfuckers outside on behalf of what they mad about, right? But to me, if you worry about that, you restrict yourself to great comedy, right? So for me, every tragedy in my life, I bring it to the stage so that I can show the audience you can survive any tragedy. If God lets you open your eyes the next day, okay, survive it. Because we talking shit, you know, if one of your relatives at the hospital that you hate, and we all in the hospital room going, if we could just pull the plug on this motherfucker. You see how we all laugh?
Yeah.
That's what humor does. Even though we know we not gonna do it, or one of us might, but the rest of us not. That's what humor is for. It's gala humor. It's Irish wakes.
Yeah.
It's black funerals. It's funny. The black funeral, hey, dig that motherfucker up and check his pockets. Why? Because he owed me $50. That's humor that gets you over tragedy.
I didn't know. I wasn't certain your late husband was black.
Really? Oh, because
was not. And then when type of
mm-hmm.
the way he died, I was like, this sounds like this is a very white guy thing to do.
Jump off a building?
Yeah.
How so? What do you mean? Because that takes courage?
No, God, no. No. I mean, it does. No, I'm not disrespecting him. It does.
You know, people argued me down when I talked about that.
It certainly does.
In mental illness, I felt it took him great courage to be in such despair that he would do something that there's no way I could have done that. No way. But for that type of despair and that type of stress, and people say, well, you know, because I had some therapy and dealing with some things, but my thing is, I did not kill my husband, but I may have exacerbated his stress. And so now that comes through in my comedy and saying what type of companion I want to be to a man, because I've watched the man I love.
You weren't talking during the game, were you?
No.
All right.
Not at all. Not at all. Now that is one thing. I might ask you a question in a movie theater, but I don't like to talk.
No, that's great.
Because I talk for a living.
Tony went back to kill Tony, did not cry, did not call anyone racist, did not book himself onto Dion Cole's podcast, picked up the microphone, did his job, called Chelsey exactly what she is. The crowd agreed and moved on. Meanwhile, Chelsey is still out here, still on podcasts, still furious that Cheryl went on the racist podcast without consulting her, still failing upward on someone else's fuel, still reading her opinions off a teleprompter probably,